One of the biggest lessons that I learned very, very quickly is greet everybody, no matter the circumstances, with a hello and a how are you.
South African has the best language in Africa, and this is currently trending, and some foreigners in the country try their possible best to learn the South African language. Foreigners in South African has a lot of culture shock and the things that they've learned in South African. I'm going to be leaving you guys with this video and then we'll come back and analyze it, okay?
Things that I've learned as an ex-English girl who now lives in South Africa and is married and has a family here, and I've been here for ages. One of the biggest lessons that I learned very, very quickly is greet everybody, no matter the circumstances, with a hello and a how are you, before you can move forward in any way, shape or form. Now, I'm pretty well brought up. I'd like to think that I had good manners instilled in me from a young age. But when you live in South Africa, and this was the same in Botswana, you need to take that to another level. You cannot avert your eyes or just avoid making eye contact with the lady who works at the till in the supermarket, or the guy who's filling up your petrol for you, or someone that you just are passing on the street. You look them in the eye and you need to say, hi, how's it going? Or like, how's your day going? Or how are you? If you want anything from anyone at any stage, your house could be on fire, your arm could have been chopped off. If you want something from someone, you greet them politely first, you look them in the eyes, and you pass the time of day with them. The problem is that now, when I go to England and I do this, if I walk into H&M or I go and order a coffee, I do what comes completely naturally to me now, and I go, hey, how's it going? How's your day? And they literally look at me like I'm a psychopath. If you do this in England, people will think that you have broken out of an asylum, because it is just not the norm to greet people like this.
3 things that I've learned about South Africans after having come here during the December season. They really appreciate if you try to learn at least how to greet in a common language here. So at least, if you come in and you say Sawubona or Sawubonani, that tends to kind of set the mood for a positive interaction. So I think it's really important, if you're going to come here, maybe next December for K December, that you at least learn how to greet. Number 2, South Africans really appreciate humility, and they really don't like arrogance. I feel like that might be a part of the reason why they have issues with maybe like Nigerians. Although I don't think all Nigerians are arrogant. They are quite proud people, and for some that can come off like arrogance. But typically, they don't like if you seem kind of uppity, I guess, or like haughty, I guess is really the way to say it. So just, be friendly, try to be kind of, just, like, be chill, I guess, and that's kind of how they like things to be. Lastly, they really, really like to party, baby. Never left the club before 4 a.m., not once. Every single time we enter the club at nighttime, we leave out the club and the sun is up. I don't know what happens. Also, their clubs are kind of like cavey. Like, they're all like downstairs, and like you have no idea what's going on in the outside world when you go to a club in South Africa. There's no windows, so you're really just in the club vibe the entire time. So if you're going to come to South Africa for December, be prepared to get no sleep.
That I love about living in South Africa as a British girl who has now lived over here for ages, there are just certain words that just they don't even translate into English effectively, but just themselves as words or phrases are just unmatched. The first one of these, which is my favorite, it's an Afrikaans word, loskop. There is nothing in English that is as useful, as convenient, as pleasant on the ear and on the tongue, and just apt for describing that kind of, that scatterbrained state of just being like, ugh, and it can be used as an insulting thing, but quite frankly, I am a loskop and I am thrilled to be so. Like, I'm not insulted if you call me a loskop. For English people who have not heard it before, yeah, it just means like your head is all over the place, you're scatterbrained, you're kind of like a bit ditzy. Well, that's how I take it anyway. And like, I'm not insulted if someone calls me a loskop, because quite frankly, they're like right on the money. Scatterbrained just didn't quite like just have it just didn't hit the nail on the head, but loskop, it's just perfect.
So I was born in Hong Kong, but currently here in South Africa, and this is the lingo that I have learned so far. So starting off strong, we don't say, Hey, 我個中國朋友，我識住你好耐㗎喎，我哋可唔可以出去玩啊？ We say, Hey, when I phone call. We don't say, 我後生過你㗎，但係我想同你一齊拍拖得唔得？ We say, Would you be interested in Ben 10? We don't say, 我同意100%你講嘅嘢。 We say, Yeah, boo. And we don't say, 呢樣嘢真係好奇怪，好特別，我唔知順唔順得你咯。 We say, Hey, banana.
I have been in South Africa for a whole month now, and here are 3 of the best and 3 of the worst things about the country as somebody from the UK. The first and most important thing is the landscapes and the weather. The weather is brilliant here. And it's not like other countries like Thailand, where it is absolutely humid, super boiling and not even sunny. Here it's kind of windy, so you get that breeze, and it is also warm. So you kind of get this counterbalance where you're not too hot or too cold. Number 2, the people are absolutely lovely. There's about 4 main ethnic groups here in South Africa, and they are all so welcoming. It's not the case in all places. Sometimes you'll naturally be assumed as a certain way because of your skin color, but here I feel like 99% of the time, interactions are extremely positive to let one another know that you're safe and you're a good person. Benefit number 3, apart from the actual flights that you have to buy, everything is pretty cheap, and to top this, basically everybody speaks English. So you can communicate with everybody, and it's extremely cheap to live here compared to your USAs, your Australias, your Englands. So yeah, you've got everybody speaking the same language in a much cheaper environment, and quite a nice environment too. My 3 negatives. The first one is Uber drivers. Whilst Uber here is actually really cheap, and some of the Uber drivers are absolute legends, there are a lot of people that I am questioning if they've ever been on a road before. Drivers will be on their phones, they'll speed, they'll do literally everything illegal, and they just be unbothered. They'll literally ask me where I'm going. The guy yesterday, who was meant to pick me up, went past me twice and asked me to navigate him back to Hout Bay. My second negative is one that has become quite common, and I've gotten used to it, but you do get a lot of people ringing on the doors, asking for food, even asking for beer, cigarettes, random things like that, and it does come quite irritable because it is the same people, and usually they're doing the exact same circle over and over again to try and get as much as they can from you. And the third negative, it's not that deep actually, but it is quite annoying considering how beautiful this country is, but the ocean is bloody freezing. Especially in Cape Town, we're on the Western Cape, so we have that Atlantic Ocean, and it is absolutely freezing. So those are my 3 positives and my 3 negatives about South Africa. I really enjoyed this country. I really recommend you come here if you get the chance.
Here are the 3 lessons that I learned while living as a Black woman in Cape Town. Let's go. Today I got some work to do, so I'm gonna be rolling with a little bit of moringa. A rebeless moringa. I'm about to start packing today, and my flight's not even till Saturday. That's how ready I am. The first lesson, which is a lesson as old as time almost, not all skin folk are kinfolk. Yes, even in Africa. Don't get me wrong, there's some people who get it. There are some people, when I walk down the road, they call me my sister. But there are some people where it's like, am I invisible? Why are you only seeing the white people? Do I not exist? The internalized racism and colorism is a little insane. Number 2, you have to stand up for what is right, even when people try to gaslight the out of you, because they will try it. Living here in Cape Town as a Black woman means to be gaslit. Whenever you insist on being treated just like the same like everyone else, all of a sudden you're difficult, you're an entitled American. And it's like, no, I'm just asking to be treated like everybody else. I've been learning in Cape Town that just because you're gaslit doesn't mean you should stop insisting on your worth. Number 3. Biggest lesson I have learned so far. If they only want a piece of you, then that means they don't want you. I found often living here in Cape Town that people would want my Americanness, but not my Blackness. So what does that mean? That means that there are some spaces and situations that I'll show up and the attitude is immediately stink. But the minute I open my mouth and they hear that American accent, it's, oh my God, oh welcome. Sometimes not even that. Sometimes those people will still look at me like, what you want? Those are the 3 biggest lessons that that I have learned while living as a black woman in Cape Town. Look, I'm not gonna tell you don't come here. It's beautiful, right? There's Tabletop Mountain, there's beaches, there's gorgeous views everywhere. The wine's incredible. However, if you're a black woman, don't come for longer than a week. A week is about all you need. Trust me.
Wow, at this point, I'm just going to be saying that South Africans are the most cultured in Africa because all the foreigners are saying that South Africans are just going to, be choking you with with their hospitality. You have to learn at least one language, and the first language you have to learn is a greeting. You guys, these are best experience of foreigners while staying in South Africa. So please let me know your own thoughts on the comment section. What is the best experience you've had while staying in South Africa? Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay.